Hello, hello. Thank you all for joining. We're super excited to have you guys here today. Awesome. And before we get started, I do have a couple housekeeping items for you all. I will try to keep it quick and brief. First, we want to keep you guys fully engaged. So, yes, you will receive a recording of this event as soon as we wrap up. You can look for that in your inbox, in your follow up email. You should see a link to watch the recording. So, don't worry about writing every single gem you hear throughout the session. You'll have the opportunity to go back and watch the session again for anything that you might have missed. Secondly, as I said, stay engaged and submit your questions. Throughout the entire session, you have the opportunity to submit a question. If you look to the right-hand side of your screen, you should see a couple tabs up there. One of them is a question in a box. Go ahead and click on that tab and feel free to submit any questions you might have throughout the session. At the end of today's session, we do have some time allotted to answer those questions live with our speakers. So we're looking forward to hearing everything that you guys are curious about and tackling those together. Lastly, we make these sessions and these webinars for you all. You guys are our audience, and we are always looking for new ways to improve our content. Please let us know how we're doing, if what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see in the future. So if you have a 60 seconds at the end of the session to let us know how we're doing, feel free to jump into that survey and let us know. All right. Sorry about that. Those were the housekeeping notes I just touched on. And without any further ado, I want to go ahead and jump into the session, Tackling Efficiency, AI Features for Effective IT Teams. And welcoming to the stage our speakers. Hello, hello, everyone.
Hey, Danny.
Hi, how's everyone?
We're doing great. We're about to, start this amazing webinar. So we're excited. I guess I'll start with introducing myself. My name is Kim Zupancic. I'm a senior product marketing manager here at GoTo, focused on LogMeIn Resolve. I think it's the most exciting product. So definitely very happy that we'll be sharing lots of live demos today. And I'll pass it over to John for his intro.
Yes, my name is John Connolly. I'm a senior solutions consultant, so I assist our sales teams with talking to customers like yourself about the technology, doing demos, things like that. I've been with the company for over 20 years. So yeah, really great stuff we've got for you. Edward, to you.
Hey folks, thanks John. Super excited to be here today. My name is Edward Shahadi. I'm a staff product manager on LogMeIn Resolve. Over the last year or so, I've been heavily focused on all things AI for Resolve. So excited to be, talking about what we're brewing here and share a couple of really awesome features on around AI.
Awesome. I will leave it to you all then. Let me know if you need anything and have a great session. Thank you all.
Thanks, Danny. All right, so let's start with a quick look at our agenda for today. We anticipate giving you some time back. We won't be using the full hour, but here is what we have prepared for the session. Danny, I don't know if you clicked next on the slide, but we're still on the speaker slides on my end, so I'll give you just a couple seconds to. Perfect, I see it now. So we'll begin with, as I was mentioning, an introduction. We're going to be covering the basics, why AI matters in the IT management space. We'll then proceed to reviewing our AI-enriched feature set within the LogMeIn Resolve platform. And of course, the focus of today will be covering AI in action. So you'll have the chance to hear from both Ed and John. And we'll be walking you through some great AI feature set that we have prepared. And lastly, of course, we'll keep some time for Q&A at the end as well. So definitely, submit your questions as you wish, and we'll reserve some time towards the end as well to answer them. So to kick us off, I want to start with some insights from a recent survey that we conducted with IT professionals to really understand how AI is shaping IT management and support. And I think the results were pretty clear. AI is definitely transforming how teams operate, not just in AI, in IT, I should say, but also across the org. I'm sure we can all think of areas in our professional and also personal lives where we're starting to see an impact with AI, where AI has started inserting itself, and where we're seeing some tangible results. I personally work in marketing. I have started using some AI-powered feature set that has helped me in my day-to-day. I'm sure there are some examples that are top of mind for you too. And from an IT perspective, it's definitely helping teams work more efficiently, automate repetitive tasks, and also giving them the opportunity to scale their impact without having to scale their headcount. And this can be especially beneficial for smaller teams so that they can accomplish more with the resources and the headcounts that they have. And of course, we can think of savings as well. That is always top of mind, especially with IT. AI can definitely help teams optimize resources, as I was mentioning, and just do more with budgets that we know are always, seem to be always tighter and tighter year on year. So just leaving you on two stats that I have here. From our survey, we saw that 63% of our respondents said that AI will improve efficiency, and 53% said that it will reduce costs. So I think with that, we can clearly see that AI isn't just a buzzword. It's becoming essential, again, to operations and delivering real tangible results. And so with that, we have our first poll question. These were great stats, you might say, but how are our most IT teams actually using AI? And that's what we really want to open the conversation today with. Have you adopted AI in your operations? We'll give you some time to answer the poll. All right, so I'm already seeing some questions come in. Interested to see where the audience ends up lining up. So I think we're seeing still a little bit of movement. All right, maybe just 5 last seconds for maybe some more folks to answer. All right, I think, Danny, we're good to close the poll.
Yep.
I don't know, John, what are your thoughts? I see that you're off mute. Are you surprised by the results?
No, I'm not. So, 61% said not yet, but planning to. And yeah, that's about right. A lot of people are thinking about it, but do you want to jump in the deep end in regards to AI is the big question in regards to what people are thinking out there. So,
yeah. Absolutely. And we have a next slide prepared. And interestingly enough, I think we're on par with what we were seeing from our survey results as well. So if I just close the poll and we move to the next slide. Perfect. So when we compare our responses, so we see that the majority landed on sort of not yet. And that's also what we saw with our survey. We saw that while 50% of IT professionals were familiar with AI in IT, only 26% had actually adopted it. So I think what this means, at least what I'm seeing as the interpretation, is that there's still a big gap between awareness of AI and action or adoption. And that's exactly why we're here today and why we feel this webinar is so relevant right now in being able to show you this AI in action, specifically how LogMeIn Resolve is bringing AI-powered capabilities to IT. And so that's really the goal of today's webinar. So I think with that, we're good to move to the next slide. We said that the bulk of today's session would be AI in action, so we're gonna aim to deliver on that promise. But before I pass it over to Ed, I have just one last slide that I'd like to walk you guys through. We have some interesting demos prepared, and you'll see what we mean when we say, LogMeIn Resolve is AI powered, or we have an AI enriched feature sets. What does that mean? It means that we have AI embedded across our platform. I have sort of some of those platform components listed here on the slide. If we move from sort of left to right here, with remote support and the virtual technician, you'll see that we have AI embedded in remote support to really help IT agents execute in a more effective way. You'll see a great demo of how you can use the virtual technician to generate step-by-step workflows. I won't steal the punch, but that is definitely a very interesting new AI tool that we have. For reporting, we know that in general, data is not always the easiest to obtain, and AI can definitely make that much more easy and more self-sufficient as well, so that you can get the data that you need when you need it. From a help desk component, we also added some more automation, making it help desk more streamlined. We know that, at least the goal is that we want IT professionals to do less of those repetitive tasks that over time can really add up and take some valuable time away from their ability to do more value-oriented or more strategic initiatives. For the knowledge base, you'll see how AI can improve how teams find and access critical information. And lastly, we also have an AI assistant. So that's a more conversational interface that's also available, and that allows IT teams to get answers via text or voice queries if that's their preferred approach versus, going into the different, areas of the platform to access that information directly. So with that, I hope that gives you a sufficient overview in terms of, why AI is important, what we offer, and I will now pass it over to Ed so that he can further introduce the virtual technician and run you through some cool demos.
Thanks, Kim. One really exciting feature that is in beta right now, and that a number of problems that we've heard so far, which led us to this beta feature, is a number of common challenges. Agents lose a lot of time on routine tasks and troubleshooting. Manual processes lead to some inconsistent quality and service speed, and there are a lot of repetitive work limits, repetitive work that limits focus on strategic priorities. One really amazing quote that I heard from a customer a while back is, in help desk and IT support, it's very difficult to remember that your job is to drain the flood when you're up to your ankles in alligators. And that really resonated with me. When you're always firefighting, you have a lot of repetitive work. It's tough to pull up a level and focus on strategic priorities. And these are some of the challenges that we are really excited to address with the virtual technician. A number of benefits that it provides is around problem resolution, enhanced productivity, automating without expertise, and quicker resolutions. Again, another quote or conversation I was having with another customer was around exactly that. We had a question similar to the poll that you had earlier, which was like, to what extent are you familiar with AI and have you started adopting it? And what I heard back was, I'm very familiar with it, but unfortunately, our automation skills are lacking and we don't have the technical wherewithal to do that. And with Virtual Technician, that is, again, is finding a way to democratize automation and really be at the no-code level. So with respect to the demo that we are going to see, is we're going to see how agents can do a remote support session manually, as today, and then turn this resolution, this remote control session after the fact, into an automation at a click of a button without any technical or coding required. So without further ado, let me share my screen. And all right, let me know if ever sharing. All right, I'm not able to share, Danny, just letting you know.
Yep,
let me try sharing once more.
Made you presenter. Let me try again. I think, yep,
Perfect.
there.
All right, we're in. So as an agent starting his or her day, you first go to the help desk, and then you see a number of tickets. One of them being that printer, oh my God, it's not working. My printer is not working. I checked connections to no avail. Help me, please. So it just happens that from our AI solutions, we know which device is actually impacted because it was submitted by a specific user. So at a click of a button, we can click link device, and that provides some information that can be relevant for you. And you can also start at a click of a button a remote control session on a managed device, saving a lot of time through that. Now, by connecting on the device, as an agent, I know I'm familiar with this problem because I've been with a team for a while, and I always have to train newcomers on this, but I never have the time to document this. So again, once more, I will go to restart the spooler, which is quite uh, repetitive, tedious, but at the same time needs to be done. And as I go through this, all right, now I'm on the services. I'll go to spooler, scroll down, and now I'm realizing, okay, it's not here, probably maybe under print spooler. So let me scroll back up a little bit and find it. Then let me just hit restart. And all of this is quite, something that is repetitive, that as an IT agent, you do it once and then you can do it again very, very often. And it takes a lot of time. Now it's done. Let me just hit end session. And yes, I'm sure I want to end the session. And then I'm brought to this session. And in the past, typically that would be the end of it. And another session, another ticket would come in with the same problem, and you would need to repeat this over and over again. And you wouldn't be able to move out of the support, reactive support. But now with a number of the features that we're building, you can hit review and close, and then you are brought to this support session, and it takes 1 or 2 minutes. You can review a video recording if needed, but at the same time, you also have AI generated notes that will appear. And these AI generated notes, it's something that we've heard over and over again as a need because it helps from an audit perspective. However, it doesn't stop here. It just doesn't live, goes in the drawer somewhere, and it is left there. First off, it provides a summary. This was a fairly short session, but when you have very lengthy sessions, you have a very concise summary. And at a click of a button, you can hit generate article. And this generation of an article does something really magical for me. The first time I saw this, I was like, OMG, this is what we've been working on for so long. And you have this virtual technician plan that is just understands what happened in the manually run session that was done by a human agent, understands it, and then generates a plan that you can then run. So let me just hit save article here, because odds are there are additional tickets that will come in at one point that are very similar. And we'll go back to the knowledge base in a little bit. So then again, we have an additional ticket that came in that is about a printer not working. And again, same here. Well, first off, that's interesting how the summary of the issue is quite elaborate, and I actually have history about a conversation that happened with the end user. So that's interesting. Perhaps I can make use of that. At the same time, I have some related articles on the top right, related knowledge base articles, and similar tickets. So perhaps that is as well additional context and insights that I can tap into. But for now, let's just connect John's machine in this case to this ticket, and then we will have access to this remote session at a click of a button. The session was already running for, all right, let me just hit back. The session was already running to save some time. All right, the session here seems to have gone away. Let me just start this again. All right, perfect. All right, connect now. Perfect. So once I'm in a session, you have access to the virtual technician in the top bar right here, as well as in the sidebar. So by clicking on this hand with a star, you see the sidebar pop up to the virtual technician. And if I just remember the plan that we just created that was restart print spooler, let's just search for this article and hit execute plan. And then this takes it away. Where as a human, I always remain in control because I see on the right-hand side of my screen the steps that are laid out. I can cancel execution at any time. I can jump in. It points me back to the exact article that that was used to generate and host this plan. And I can move on to other tasks, such as I can go back to help desk, and this will continue running in the background. I can field other tickets. I can look at alerts. I can perhaps focus on more strategic aspects of my job around automating more things, hiring a new team, training, and so on. I can go back here and it continues to run. And when this is done, at the end, it provides a summary of what happened, and that tells me, that what it did, and that it executed what I wanted to do successfully. And obviously, this is in beta, and it's a bit slower, for instance, than you were if you were as an agent actively working on it. But you can go do other things, and that is really something that for me is really truly magical. Here, at the bottom of the plan here, it says plan executed successfully. The print spooler service has been successfully restarted as per the action plan. And from there, that is how you receive a ticket once, and as an agent, you can field that ticket. And in the past, if you wanted to automate this, you would have needed to either have coding skills or perhaps set up, time aside, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to set up a remote execution script. You no longer need to do that. And you can generate knowledge base articles that allow automations to be conducted by some of your peers, other agents, or just generate these articles to help other agents get up to speed and train. There are a couple of other really neat use cases that I've been hearing from customers on that front. For instance, you don't only need to start from browsing a plan library. You can do something, you can generate a custom plan. For instance, if you're already in a session and you did part of the work, and then you realize, oh, actually, I need to clear cache on the Chrome browser, for instance. Then you can hit submit, and you'll have steps that will be generated, which, as always, you can review these. You remain in control, and it can point you to a plan that exists, but this does not need to be the case. So you can hit, again, you can review these steps, you can hit execute, and from there it will run by itself, and it saves a fair bit of time. Not only when you're running it, but also at times you're not sure, where should I click? Okay, it's been a while since I went. I'm used to being on the Chrome browser, and now it's Edge or Safari. So these are things that it's not rigid. Where in the first session that we saw, it was Windows 11. Now in the session that we're seeing right now, it's actually Windows, a different version of Windows. So it's not like the RPA automations that have lots of value, but they can be rigid. Whereas this is really, it adapts to the environment, and that for me is truly a magical thing, and what can unleash a lot of power via AI.
And Edward, just to expand on that, they can be very edge cases as well, because I see a lot of times where, things like we have Zscaler, for example. You could have specific plans just for Zscaler and handling those situations, especially on a deployment. You're rolling out, let's say, Zscaler for the very first time, and 80-90% of them are going to go just fine, but it's that 10% where you're going to have to learn fairly quickly and get your team up to speed on how to handle these particular issues, where setting up plans and having that on the go can really make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's this really, so for instance, there's this VPN, and I think that's what you're alluding to, John. There's this VPN that we use at Resolve that is called Zscaler. And at times you need to do a Zscaler test, and that does not exist. That is not a link that exists, out in the wild, that is known by, world knowledge. That is something that you need to load in your knowledge base, and it can tap into that. So if I let me just hit cancel a quick second here, and let me load. So plan execution stopped by the agent. So let me share what a custom plan would look like when it is tied to specific proprietary information of your company. For instance, run Zscaler speed test. And from there, it should pull up the exact link that is needed in order to run that test, which is speedtestzscaler.com, and it points you to 2 different articles. And if I were to hit execute, nowhere on the web, is it listed that this is the path towards doing that? You just import a knowledge base article in your virtual technician plan library, and there you go. It runs. And in just a second, in a couple of minutes, I'll show you how you can do that as well. And again, yeah, we've spoken a fair bit about different use cases. One final one that was quite surprising to me was I was speaking with a customer and they were telling me how installing some specific pieces of software are challenging. Some of them that we use on a day-to-day, for instance, Microsoft Power BI, and for a specific environment, it needed to be installed at the endpoint by a local admin, and that was time consuming. And I was like, all right, I never heard this specific use case. Let me try it out myself, and it worked right off the bat. I did not know personally how to install Microsoft Power BI on a specific endpoint. I did it, I tried it out, and it worked great. So these are a couple of things that really surprised me because again, it knows how to adapt, and yeah, it's not as rigid as what I was expecting it to be. So there are really a lot of smarts behind it.
Yeah, I think this particular example isn't liking that I don't have Zscaler on this VM. So
Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. So let me hit cancel in that case, and perhaps we can go to Danny. Maybe let's go to the next slide, and I'll talk a little bit about knowledge base. All right. So another challenge that we've heard specifically around storing knowledge, organizing knowledge, making it useful, accessible, is that documenting information in a knowledge base is time consuming and typically requires a fair bit of technical wherewithal or technical writing skills, which is something that not everyone you need a dedicated team for this. But with AI-powered knowledge base, that is no longer the case. Not only that, the information you're able to use this and generate this at a click of a button, and it will be very structured. So that is one challenge. The other challenge is that very often this information that is stored isn't necessarily used, or at least that's what we're hearing from the field, because at times it is very lengthy documents, and you can't necessarily find it. So we are focusing on exactly that. So maybe let me share my screen once more, and just a quick second. Just need to approve. Yes, I am wanting to share. All right, perfect. So if I share my screen here, now let's say that I want to have some pieces of information from my knowledge base. What you can do is, as a help desk team, as a team, and I saw this, a fair bit in our LogMeIn Resolve team. We have some engineering managers that loaded all their knowledge base, all the information inside this knowledge base, and then they can query and ask a number of information from GoPilot, for instance. And obviously, um, these are uh, uh, what's it? This isn't really someone working at GoTo. We just for the sake of this demo, let me just double check to make sure that this is loaded. All right, let's try again. Let's ask if we have, for instance, pet leave at GoTo, and this will, based on the articles underneath here, this is actually queried live, and you can do this. You can load whatever information that you need, whatever information that you want, in order to make this accessible either to agents or also to end users. And John will demo this in just a brief second. So I found this quite exciting when I realized I don't ever need to go back to all these standard operating procedures and sift through them and read them. I can just load them in my Resolve knowledge base and actually have access to them. At a click of a button, I ask GoPilot, and it's right there. And just one last thing I'll demo is how you can create a new article And from there, just by copy pasting, it will understand images. It will understand. Um, it understands images. It has links, and not only that. For instance, if you had a long-standing article or a standard operating procedure which was meant for human agents, human consumption, you can now turn these into actionable plans. Again, all you need to do is just highlight this. You click on the button here, Insert Plan, and this is, you just need to enter Go, and you can enter a title, how to run Zscaler test, and from there you save it. And the next time you need to do this, you can directly go into the knowledge base and execute on the device, and then select the device where it should be executed. So it's as simple as that. That is how you can generate an automation just by speaking to it in plain language, just by having sessions, remote control sessions recorded, and then turn these into automations, again, with zero code. So super excited about this. And that is the demo from my side.
Thanks, Ed. That was super interesting. I hope that you guys liked it. And again, you can use the Q&A function and type in your questions as you go, and we'll make sure to answer them in a bit.
All right, next we're going to talk about dynamic insights. So this is a brand new, exciting twist on using AI in regards to reporting. And the common challenges, like you see here, is reporting tools lack flexibility for timing relevant data. So you have this product and you want to get the data out of it. How do you do that? Well, some people say, well, you know what, SQL, right? So you can put in SQL commands to get that data out of it and analyze what's going on there. That can be very difficult, limiting. Who knows? I'm not a SQL guy myself, so it would be very challenging for me. So it hinders, getting that data out of the application that you're trying to uh, distribute and make actionable reports on that data. So I'm going to show you what we've done or what we are doing in Resolve to give you that information in a very natural way in regards to it, and that's dynamic insight. So let me show you how that works. All right. First off, I am in my Resolve account. I've got 68 different devices in here, and these devices are Windows, Windows 10, Windows 11, Mac. I've got some Android devices in there, so it's a real mix in regards to it. Now, first off, Insights is in an internal beta at the moment. It's early April, so it's just been released internally, but we are looking for customers to try it out in their Resolve account and have a way of enabling it. But it allows me to simply come in here and ask the question of what I'm looking for. And in this case, not that. So what is the breakdown of Windows versus Mac? Windows, let's do Windows 10 and 11 devices, okay? And I'll go off and do that. Now it's looking at just my instance, obviously, of Resolve and my devices, and it's going to provide the information in a nice little pie chart. Okay, there it is there, and I can hover over 31 Windows 10 machines, 14 Windows 11, and then I can come in here and say, add Mac OS devices, okay? Don't have to get real formal with it. Just start throwing stuff at it. And there you go. And just to complete it, add Android devices. It's going to give me the nice looking pie chart in regards to it. And now I can start looking at it and see the different quadrants of it. And if I want to eliminate one, I can do that. Just simply come down here and click on it, add it back. So I can look at the different data and, parse it the way I want. I can also come down here and obviously export it so I can get a PNG for this image, or I can change it into a chart format as quickly as that. So you're able to do different things with it. Now, this is just step one. We've got plans for making these into reports. Maybe this is a particular report that you want to see. So being able to have that report, store it so you can go to it anytime. And then also over time, having the ability to schedule it and have it emailed to you. Additionally, we have a dashboard which has all sorts of different widgets on it, and having that functionality be added to the dashboard in a widget. So you can go see this data very quickly and easily. So now that's just a simple, just Windows 10 versus Windows 11 and some of the others, but let me show you some other things that I can do in regards to it. So let's do, okay. Sorry, my notes all of a sudden. Okay, let's say we get this question quite often in regards to it. They want to know what devices, how many devices they have out there that are offline and how long those devices have been offline. Okay, so you can simply come in here and add that information. Other things, so this is all data that's within obviously Resolve that we have. So I can come down here and add things like add the last logged in user for these devices. I can see how long they've been offline, but who is the last logged in user for it. So I can see who it belongs to in regards to it. I can take this report, give it to Johnny to go look at these particular devices and see what's going on. I could also add what group they add. Actually, I can just keep it simple in regards to it. Add group. Okay. Put that on there. It'll put a column in there for the group. And then add date and time to the, oh gosh, what did I say? Add date and time to the title. Sorry. So I can timestamp it because it'll change over time. So I can put the date and time in there in regards to it. So it's really amazing and just allows you to get that information that's in our database and allow you to pull it out in a natural way of getting it and then being able to create the report from it. Now we do have reports in regards to it, but this just allows you to customize, basically have customized reports to be able to do what you need to do. How we doing on time, Kim?
I think we're good on time. I really like this demo. It's so, I think what's my favorite part is definitely how easy it is to use. Like I can imagine like a new IT person joining a new team and you're new to the platform and it's your first day. Anyone can use this. It's very easy to query information. You don't have to be an expert. I think that's the part that really resonates the most with me.
Yeah. The big thing there is, keeping from having to download it into a Excel spreadsheet and then do a bunch of Excel commands to get the data that you want in regards to it. You can just ask it what you want. It'll provide it for you. You can create the report from there, put it in the dashboard as a widget, and be able to monitor that ongoing in regards to it. So it's super cool. It is just way cool. I've had so much fun playing around with it the last few days. So, all right, next. There we go. Next, help desk. So Edward touched on the help desk and some of the functionality within a ticket. what I want to concentrate on is showing you from the employee side of the help desk portal that we have. So the Resolve Help Desk portal, which allows you to uh, push it out to your employees, and then they have the portal to go to then get the information that they need in regards to, and we have AI built into that as well. So, and at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is deflect those questions that the employees have to self-help, and then if needed, being able to create a ticket or get into a chat session to resolve the issue. So that being said, let me show you the Resolve employee portal. There we go. All right. So it is a simple URL. You can embed it on your intranet or have a landing page for them to go to in regards to it. Now, the first, they do have to have a login so that you can easily set them up with a login to get to this page, which is going to be specific to your instance of Resolve. All right. So the first option is just support. So we have ad hoc type support in Resolve. So this is where I would direct my employees to put in the support key and their name, or we have an option that you can just email them the link to start the session in regards to it. But that's step one, to get them into the session so they know where to go to be able to do that. Next is the tickets. Okay. This is where they actually can come in and submit their own ticket. Now, Edward and I were pretty sneaky because I submitted a ticket from him while he was doing his presentation earlier, and that's showing up right here at the top. So printer not working, all right? And I can just go into it, and any updates that have been done to the ticket, yes, I would get an email as an employee of any updates that have been done, but it also allows me to come in and add comments in regards to it. Thank you for the help, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, they can attach files to it and stuff like that. Now, this is not the only way to submit a ticket. I should have said that a little earlier. There's different ways to submit a ticket. So this is one way of doing it. We have a Teams integration for employees to submit tickets via Teams. We have lots of customers out there using Teams, and you want to keep your employees in Teams. So that allows them to submit the ticket in Teams. Of course, it's going to show up in the Resolve Help Desk, but as the central repository, but going back and forth, and you can start a session from Teams, things like that. The other way of doing creating a ticket is for the employees to simply email. Okay, we have an email alias. You can customize that email alias, so you can make it your own email domain, and they have a familiar email address that they can just pull up and send a email via they can create a ticket via email in regards to it. So but it would obviously resolve here at the portal as well if they have access to that. Now, to create a ticket, like I did earlier, I can come up here, create a ticket. Let's go. My keyboard is not working very well. And when they submit it, what we do is we're going to hit AI, okay, and come up with some suggestions for them. Okay, sorry to hear about that. Could you provide more details? Okay, okay, so here it is going back and forth to better understand what the issue is in regards to it. So then it's going to give me steps on what I need to do in regards to it. So they can follow these steps in regards to it, hopefully deflecting it, okay, getting a quicker resolution to the employee. And if that's not going to work, then they can come over here and say, no, create a ticket. And then go through the process. Now, the ticket obviously can have custom categories and different things for them to fill out in regards to it. It's going to list what GoPilot, the AI, provided as a solution, and of course that was in the ticket that Edward pulled up. So they have the ability to be able to do these fields and then save the ticket.
Maybe,
All right.
John, like one thing that I'm also seeing from this is that not only can it provide, intelligent answers, hopefully deflecting the query, but it can also pull from your internal knowledge base that lives at Resolve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it can pull from that. It's not only looking externally for an answer, but it will look internally as well for those answers. And they do have access to the knowledge base. Now, the knowledge base has obviously two different ways of presenting knowledge base articles. One, those knowledge base articles could be employee facing, okay, knowledge base articles, but then you can also have them to where they're not employee base facing articles. So they could be internal to just your support team. So only your support team would be able to see those articles and what they need to do to resolve the issue, and not, it may be too complicated that you don't want your employees to be able to do those types of things and stuff like that. So you do have the ability, as you're creating the knowledge base articles, to make them employee facing or not. But this allows them to come in and then search on those knowledge base articles to then get the solution to the issue. All
Yeah,
right.
that's a great demo. Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right. So with all of these demos, hopefully you thought those were interesting. If you want to learn more, or actually we'd love to learn more about, what you thought were more interesting. So we have another poll for you. So out of everything that Ed and John presented today, we'd love to know, what was most interesting to you. So we'll give you some time just to answer the poll. It's always great internally to know, where what interests our users the most. And I'm sure it's very useful for both Ed and John as, they're in the product day in and day out. All right, so I do see some answers coming up. We'll give you guys maybe just a couple more seconds to add your answers to the poll. All right, so I think we got most of our answers coming in. Perfect, so we're good to close the poll. It looks like there's a bit of a tie between the AI-powered help desk and the virtual technician, which is always great to see. And just before we hit Q&A, we also have one last question for everyone. If you have some more questions, you'd like to see how that could be applicable to your specific environment, let us know using this poll, and we'll definitely make sure that someone from our team, if you're lucky, you might get John to join one of your sessions, and we'll make sure that someone reaches out to you very quickly after the webinar. All right. So I think with that, we are a good place to open the Q&A. So I do see we got a couple questions coming in. So let me maybe start from the top. So a question around the articles: can a user run an automated task from one of these articles?
And so if I'm understanding correctly, can an end user run automated tasks from one of the articles? And what I'm hearing here is it all goes back to like, hey, let's shift left in terms of incident response. Let's find ways to deflect and so on. At first, because it's all about making, features that are, AI driven, but also practical, but doing that responsibly. We first are releasing this to agents because agents have, we want this to be, always humans can jump in, humans can control, humans can supervise. And first releasing to agents is our way to do that. But absolutely, in the future, that is where we see this headed, very much so, but not to start off with.
All right, so Carlos, let us know if we answered your question. You used the word user there. Let us know if we interpreted your question correctly. All right, so we did get some feedback from users that would like their instances to be enabled with dynamic insights. So that's great to know. Definitely noted. We'll get back to you with that after the webinar. All right, so we have a workflow related question also for the help desk. Can the tickets have workflows tied to them for things like onboarding, offboarding, permission change requests, etc.?
Yeah. At the moment, we do not have those features, so it is on our roadmap to add those type of flows to it and templates to the help desk, but don't have a solid time frame on that at the moment.
Perfect. We have a very specific Hamachi related question. I don't know if we'll be able to answer that one live, but I'll ask it anyways. So I'm assuming this was relating to maybe the dynamic insights, but Mike, let us know if we are interpreting your question correctly. Can this be used in conjunction with port forwarding issues in Hamachi?
I'm not trained with Hamachi, so we can take that offline and get an answer for that. I'm gonna think probably not, but we can look into it and get back to them.
Yeah, so Mike, we'll definitely follow up after the webinar with a more specific answer. We did also get some more answers around our trial. Can I test the virtual technician by taking out a free trial? So currently the virtual technician is not available in the free trial. However, if you're interested in using the virtual technician, definitely let us know using the chat. And we'll make sure to reach out to you after the webinar. All right, so maybe a question for you, Ed. Can you talk to what's coming next with AI?
So a lot of features are currently in beta. We are hardening them over the next couple of months, adding a lot of interactivity features with the virtual technician, being able to collaborate a lot more with the virtual technician. Perhaps like what I mean by this is having handoffs. And for instance, at times there's some ambiguity that virtual technician needs to rely on a human. So that is where, pinging the agent at times is just normal and is a given at this point in time. So these are the types of hardening features that we are working on for virtual technician. A couple of a bit more forward-looking features as well around virtual technician is being able to, from one plan, kick off to many different remote sessions. This is one thing that we heard a lot as a feature, and we do have this as part of our roadmap for virtual technician. With respect to how with respect to other features such as dynamic insights, again, we are working really hard to make this, as John said, reusable as part of reports, where dynamic insights is a way to let anyone query the data that they need when they need it on the spot. In plain language, you do no longer need SQL skills. You no longer need to plan this ahead of time, send a queue request to your data analyst and so on. If you have the luxury of having one, you can do that in self-serve fashion. And the next part of the roadmap, which will be developed as over the next 2-ish months in Q2, is making these currently one-off reports reusable as part of reports that you not only can use internally to do some optimization to address how to better roll out patches, critical patches, vulnerable patches, or the likes. You would also be able to report this externally to customers in order to demonstrate and provide clear value and communicate that value to your customers. So these are two of the of the many features that we are working on the AI side. It's really hardening this. It's no longer a gimmick. It's no longer, hey, this is our shiny, cool new tool. No, this works. This runs production. That's the state of the world that we're in today, and that we are driving towards at LogMeIn Resolve.
All right, thanks, Ed. We have another help desk related question. So when it comes to the help desk AI support chat, I think that was referring to your demo, John, where you were typing in some questions. As it answers the questions for users, how do we know if it accurately is giving information? Is this excluding the knowledge base articles?
So it would include the knowledge base articles that were in there, to Edward's point during the demo. So it would pull that stuff in there. There is, I kind of blew by it really quickly, but I said, I switched over to creating the ticket fairly quickly, but there was a thumbs up, thumbs down. So the employee can give feedback in regards to whether it was helpful or not in regards to it. We do have that mechanism, but it's a interesting question in regards to it on what that. I think what the tone of the question is what is the success rate of the AI in regards to providing it to the employees.
Thank you, John. So we weren't planning to use the full hour, but the demos were great.
That's what you get for saying. That's what you get for saying it early on.
We've knocked on wood. It's always when you think we're going to be short that they end up being long. But that's great. It means that we got some good engagement and some great demos as well. So thank you both for that. Maybe a last question just to round out the session. Is the help desk or knowledge base a prerequisite to using the virtual technician?
And the answer is absolutely not. We have a lot of our customers right now using virtual technician, getting great engagement with it, and they have their own third-party knowledge base, and same with help desk. So obviously, what we demonstrated today is a full integrated end-to-end flow that covers help desk, knowledge base, virtual technician, but very much so today, a lot of customers right now are getting value just by tapping into virtual technician.
All right. Well, thank you so much. So I think that rounds out our session. Danny, I don't know if you wanted to have some last words, but from my end, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It was a pleasure to see the demos. Thank you so much, Ed and John. Hopefully you enjoy them as much as I did.
Yeah, great session, guys. Thank you so much for engaging with us. Awesome demos and content. So thank you all for joining, and I'll let JC and Edward close out as well.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Cole. I'd love to talk to you.
Love that.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you on our next webinar.
Thank you.
Bye.